Hi, my name's Chad, and this is C2 Fab. This is my shop, C2 Fab, and my phone's falling over. Hi. And I'm going to show you around my shop today. Okay, so here's the grand tour. This is my little 700 square foot garage. I built this a few years ago for a buddy of mine, with under the caveat that I would be allowed to rent it off of him to keep my shop in. So here's the main entrance. Just kind of spin you around in here so you can get an idea of what little space I'm working with. So that's 700 square foot minus a bathroom and this, which I call hardware hallway. It's just where all my hardware, PPE, air compressor, clamps, all that stuff lives back here. Mini fridge. And then over here is just the restroom. That's all that is. So in here, the newest piece of equipment, the focal point of the shop right now, is this Langmuir Systems Crossfire Pro. It's a plasma table, CNC. It's operated off of that laptop right there. It has a 4-foot by 3-foot cutting bed, and I run this little razor weld cut 45. They say it'll cut 1/2-inch plate. I don't trust it. I know it'll cut 3/8 though. I've had a piece of 3/8 up on it, so it's a pretty cool machine. Yeah, I'm still really learning how to use it. There's tons of features I haven't mastered yet. It is able to be indexed, so I can put a full 4x8 sheet of steel on there and pass it through. And that makes it so you can cut a section of it and then move the sheet and then cut the next section of it. And all you're left with is these little tiny tabs that hold it all together that you nip out with a angle grinder, and then your whole piece falls out. So that's a pretty cool thing you can do with that. Get a big cutting area out of a small machine. Workbenches, knick-knack boxes, wrenches, toolbox. And then over in this corner is kind of the cut area. You'll notice I've got a old moped in here. It's a buddy of mine's, needs a little bit of work done to it. That's my cruiser bike. I'll take it down to 7-Eleven when I'm thirsty and hot and tired, need a break. Material rack up there. So this, hard to see because it's facing backwards in the shop, is my Jet horizontal bandsaw. It is able to be rotated to get different angles of cuts. I use it primarily for cutting square tubing and flat stock and stuff to make table bases and frames for things. It's a really useful tool. I've had it 15 years maybe. I don't know. I've had it for a long time. I bought it right when I moved to Colorado and opened this shop. It has been a workhorse. It's fantastic. It's got a 13-inch wide by 7-inch deep cutting throat, so you can cut quite a big chunk of metal with it if you need to. Those are all little scrap bins. Gas is in the corner. This is my welding cart, which is a mess, but what welding cart isn't? I use a Miller Multimatic 215. It runs on 220, but it can actually be plugged into household 110 electric if you need to. It'll run flux core if you want it to, but I run it on gas. Bottles are back here. My hoods and everything hanging all over it. It gets rolled all over the shop all the time. It's a great machine. It's a multi-process machine, so it'll MIG, stick, and TIG just by changing some torch leads around and pushing a couple buttons on the control panel. That's the consumables chest down there, so that's full of all the different tips and connections and stuff for that machine. Got a vertical bandsaw that, since I bought the plasma table, like literally never gets used now. This is my old air compressor. I had to give it up because it pulls 30 amps and the plasma pulls 45, and I only have 60 amps of service out here. And so when you turn the air compressor on, what you need to run the plasma table, it trips the breaker. So what I ended up doing was purchasing that Master Force compressor I got tucked back there, and it only pulls 15 amps and has enough air capacity to run the plasma, which is great. So that air compressor right now, boop, is up for sale currently, but I'm not sure if I actually want to get rid of it. It's a really nice compressor. It's cobbled together, homemade by me and a buddy when we were out in Colorado. It's a Frankenstein of a compressor, but it pushes crazy amounts of air. You can run a sandblaster off of this thing. So if I can find a place to squirrel it away safe where it won't get damaged and ruined by sitting, I'll probably keep it. It might end up out at my grandparents' in the barn. So anyway, yeah, this is my little shop. I guess we can talk about the welding table real fast. So the welding table, it's just a piece of 3/8 plate. Yes, it's warped. I don't care. I don't make perfectly square flat things very often. I typically do art metal. There's an anvil under there. All the clamps are down on it. It's a homemade frame with leveling feet on it. It's got a old toolbox welded to the bottom of it that's full of grinding wheels and all sorts of stuff. This is kind of fun. A buddy of mine does live action reenactment, and he is a sword fighter and wears a full set of armor. Like, they battle most of the time with wooden swords, and they like beat the crap out of each other. But he recently got into a new type of sword fighting. It's called slash and thrust, and the rules for that state that you can't have openings, like large openings. So we welded this perf metal in, and he brought it to me to have me put that perf metal in. And then down here there were some big gaps, so I made some plates that fit in here to make it so that it conforms to the rules of the new type of reenacting that he's doing. So fun project. Not every day you got a piece of actual armor sitting around on your workbench, but fun nonetheless. Got a drill press there. Anyways, yeah, this is my shop. Hope you enjoy the quick little tour. And I'll go outside real fast and I'll show you the trucks. So I have an affinity for old Ford trucks. I really love this old 62 F100. It's got a 351 Cleveland stuffed in it, if that means anything to you. It's a big V8. And this is my 86 Ranger. The Ranger runs, it's got a blown head gasket, so it pumps all the coolant into the oil. So that needs to get fixed. This has got some sort of ignition issue. It'll crank and crank and crank, but no fire. So those are my projects that are sitting here, you know, too busy making money to keep the shop running to play with my toys. Someday, that might be an episode on see stuff, do stuff, is, you know, getting the F100 running or something. Anyways, well, thanks for checking out See Stuff, Do Stuff in my shop, C2 Fab. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you got questions, shoot me a comment, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.